Phoenix, it's so good to see you again.
So good to meet again.
Good evening, friends.
Is it Oscar?
Pretty sure it's Oscar.
It's Orson, but we won't go over that right now because we have guests.
Well, all right, Oscar.
Good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this night has found you well. I, Phoenix Nelly, and my various compatriots will be your hosts this evening.
Tonight's events take place in multiple areas, and you, our lovely audience, will walk with us from scene to scene.
Our first two scenes will take place in this room. I, Amanda King, and without further ado, please enjoy the show.
Elliot,
Yes, sir.
what day is it?
October 31st, sir.
Oh.
Precisely. As you spend this day every year laboriously reading the reviews of last year's novel, while selecting a title for your next book, I've taken the liberty of fetching the morning papers and dusting off the wheel.
The Times gives it 4 stars. Very poetic, they say. Lyrical. That's a nice word. The Chronicle calls it a symphony of metaphor. I quite like the sound of that. Add that to the wheel, Elliot. I don't see the Gazette.
Oh yes, about the Gazette.
I look forward to reading the review. Silas Winters and I grew up on the same block, you know. Tends to be a bit kind.
Yes, sir, and I'm aware of your history of the Gazette. But I'm afraid you don't read today's review. It's a slight departure.
How bad can it be?
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Come
Oh,
back
you
here,
know
wait. I really need to read it. What's that up there?
What? Oh! Oh!
While Mr. Earrest has long been among the public's favorite authors, his latest work makes his long, slow-sliding quality from passable to painful to read or recall more apparent than ever before. Like each book before it, it rehashes the same tired formula with so little variation that I must infer that Mr. Earrest is wholly unaware that other plots are possible. I can honestly say that I would have enjoyed this book more if I had drizzled it in hollandaise sauce and tried to eat it with knife and fork. Well,
Indeed.
how can he? Silas Winters didn't write this review.
Check the front page.
Mr. Silas Winters, our primary literary critic for the past 23 years, will no longer be writing book reviews on the grounds that he died this morning. My God, it says here someone poisoned his coffee. Who does that?
Well, one bad review won't kill you, I assume.
One bad review? Elliot, this is a bad review in the Gazette.
I'm afraid you'll have to explain.
The same person who owns the Gazette owns my publisher. If the Gazette's willing to publish a bad review of my work, then so is my publisher.
Seems like conflict of interest.
Exactly. They're preparing to let me go, Elliot. I'm finished. I've run my course. Why didn't I become a spy? I imagine it's much easier to be a spy than a writer.
Sir. It is October 31st. It's time for you to spin the wheel.
What's the point?
It doesn't matter that your books are bad, sir. They can't fire a bestseller. Spin the wheel.
Fine. Cinderblock goes to a brawl. Yes, I quite like the sound of that.
I would hope so. What's your idea?
Well, yes, they're all phenomenal titles, Elliot. That's the point. The question is whether or not they will also be phenomenal books.
And will they be?
They have to be. With reviews like these, if my next book isn't a success, I could hardly continue to afford to employ you.
Oh, how dreadful that would be.
Precisely. Cinderblock Goes to a Brawl must be my magnum opus, my greatest work yet, my masterpiece.
What will it be about?
I have no idea.
What have you written about in the past?
Well, I write what I know, but apparently people are getting tired of that.
So you need something new.
Yes, but I don't know anything new.
Oh, heavens. Maybe that's your problem. Spend all your time in this room writing or doing whatever it is you're doing now. Maybe you need to go out and see the world.
You really think that's all I need?
Well, it seems as though you have one of two problems. A lack of subject matter, or a lack of skill.
Obviously, I don't like skill.
Right, yes, clearly.
So I must lack material. All I need to do is go out into the world and find something worth writing about.
Exactly.
So it's settled. I'll take a train to the city and find something sensational. Mustache me.
Okay.
Now I'm ready. I'll be back as soon as I can, Elliot. Goodbye.
Certainly, sir. Take your time.
Well, Phoenix, your brass seems to be in a bit of a pickle.
Well, I think Elliot's going to have to make some magic happen in order for there to be any material.
Perhaps. Say, Edna, wasn't one of your husbands a writer?
Yes, but you know how it is. Very hard to break into the writing business. Never quite succeeded, but he was able to find me a pearl. That's all that really matters. But hush, hush, the scene is starting. Poison, Harold. Really?
Yes? I honestly don't see the problem.
You tried to poison a man, Harold. You put cyanide in his coffee.
I didn't try to poison him. He died this morning. I call that a success. Why are you so hung up on one little poisoning?
It's not one little poisoning. It's about the principle of the thing.
I wasn't aware we had principles. We're murderers, Mona!
It's not about morality.
Then what is it about?
It's about the craft.
The craft.
Don't you remember when we first got started? It was all axes and stabbings, kerosene. Now you just drop a few ounces of poison in a man's coffee on your way to pick up the morning paper. It's like you don't even care anymore.
I care.
Then why don't you show me that?
Mona, we don't kill people together to show we care about one another. We care about one another because we kill people together. Take a seat. Stay a while.
I've been thinking.
Oh, I wouldn't recommend that. The examined life is not worth living, as they say.
I suppose you're right. Maybe that's our problem.
I wasn't aware we had a problem.
Well, we do.
You never mentioned a problem.
I am mentioning it now.
So you are. Please, continue.
I've been thinking, perhaps it's time, you and I, you know, parted ways.
You're thinking of leaving.
Yes, I suppose.
You're thinking of leaving. Is that the problem or your proposed solution to the problem?
I'm not sure, but I think leaving is the only way to find out.
You can't just walk away.
Of course I can. You can always just walk away.
What about all the things we've done together? The arson in that boarding house, or that woman who we tied to the railroad tracks out in the countryside. Remember?
I remember. But what matters now is what comes next. How life shakes out along the way. It's all poison and quiet. Comfortable deaths from here on out. I don't believe I can stay. I'm sorry.
The suicide as she is falling, illuminated by the moon, who regrets her act and finds appalling the thought she will be dead so soon.
Well, of course she does. No one wants to die. That's what makes murder so much fun.
That's not the point.
Then what is?
It's from the Ipsiad, your favorite play.
I'm afraid I don't see how it's relevant here.
You shouldn't make choices you can't reverse. You might come to regret them.
A choice you can reverse is no choice at all.
Stay here, with me. If things don't work out, you can leave any time. Just give me a week. You know that pretty little blonde girl who sells those paper flowers out on 5th and Elm? You could tie her up and drown her in the river, just like old times.
How do I know we won't be back in the same place in 2 weeks? Staying is as drastic as leaving. I'm sorry, Harold. I've made up my mind.
Don't forget your hat. Mona! Wait! Mona!
In a few moments, we will be leaving for our tour, but first we have an announcement to make.
In the case of a fire, you will exit through the main door which you came, the back door, one of the doors on the opposite ends of the building.
Now, all those assigned to Group A, if you would follow me, please. This way.
Everybody assigned to Group B, if you would please follow me.
And in a minute,
Excuse me,
all of those
wait.
assigned to Group C, if you could please follow me.
This way, Group B.
Rojo. We'll be leaving through this way.
This way, all the way through. Our journey begins up these stairs. If you will accompany me.
Hello there. Good evening.
Together on this first landing, if you will.
Oh, this is an actress. Oh, I bet she's good.
No doubt.
There was a young lady named Fligal who was terribly, terribly eager to be of her age on the tragedy stage, though her talents were pitifully meager.
Oh, how
What
wrong.
a world, what a world, goodbye, cruel world.
What were you saying?
Oh, I was so wrong. Oh, my goodness.
Sir?
Thank you, my dear.
Yes, you were beautiful.
No, you were not. You were horrible. Don't clap. Don't clap.
Sir, excuse me. Step down.
No. I'm sorry. You're a terrible actress. No offense. But
You are simply jealous of true talent.
oh,
Precisely.
please. I can't take it anymore. I cannot take this anymore. Get me out of here.
I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Some people are so irrevocably rude. This way, everybody. This way, follow me. What you just saw, Mrs. Fleeger's acting was a sort of taste of what we'll be seeing, which is the theater. We're following the story of the theater. Come this way.
The dinner party. How lovely.
Dinner party indeed.
Why are we staring in? What could be interesting about this dinner party?
Perhaps it's just a precursor to what may be a terrifying night. They seem so happy, don't you think?
Terrifying night.
Smiles on their faces.
Oh.
So.
Oh.
The journalist surveys the slaughter. The best in years, without a doubt. She pours herself a gin and water and wonders how it came about.
How did it come about?
The best in years, certainly.
I wouldn't say the best in years, but I do admit the scissors are a nice touch. Scissors in the head. It will make you dead.
I would like to hear about this murder that is supposedly greater. Do you have any idea what just happened in the room?
Goodbye.
Wait, I want to ask. Well, she seemed rather busy.
She did seem rather busy, almost suspiciously busy.
Well, she's a journalist. I'm sure she has much to attend to.
That's very true, very true.
So tell me about the slaughter that you assume is greater than what we have just seen.
I would rather not tell you about it. Just rest assured, it was much greater than this slaughter.
I don't believe you, Mr. Elliot, but I suppose that doesn't matter. If you'll all follow me this way, we'll head down this hallway.
Do you not remember the slaughter? It was in one of the Brass's books.
Was it?
Oh, yes.
Do you recall the name of the book? This way, everybody.
Not off the top of my head. But he was in there.
It's a very red night tonight, don't you think?
It is quite red. Almost blood red.
Must be an omen of some sort. My friends, if you will gather this way, pull around so we can meet our friend. Jasper Enkel, Hortensia's biggest fan, stood all night in a drizzle.
To buy a third gallery ticket to La Vengeance Posthume.
You'll make way, Mr. Elliot. Have any of you seen La Vengeance Posthume?
I have seen it. And I must admit, I really quite enjoyed Gertrudis. What was her last name? Gertrudis.
Colossidad.
Colossidad.
This way, everybody.
Is that Earbreast? I must go. I must go. Good pleasure. Good night.
Well,
There's that fellow running off.
this way, everybody. Which fellow? Quickly.
That fellow.
We have much to attend to tonight.
You think he's off to murder someone?
I'm sure that's not the case.
Too bad.
Is it? we'll have to get close together for everyone to see our next scene. All the way this way, please. Can everybody see? While dressing,
Gertrudis Colossida dipped into a box of candied violets.
From an unknown admirer.
Poison's all he could come up with. You're not helping out the book in any way.
he just murdered a woman.
With
A very
poison.
talented woman.
With poison. Can't use that.
Excuse me, we will head into this room now.
None. No creativity.
Make room for everybody to get in. Come all the way to this side, if you will. Is everybody in? If you recall, Gertrudis Colossidad, in her stead, Caviglia Hortensia Caviglia, as you'll more commonly hear it, went on instead. Put the audience into raptures.
Jasper sat up by himself until dawn.
After the performance, Caviglia was invited to supper by the head of the opera, Baron von Knuckle.
By the end of the season, Caviglia had sung Gliocelli.
Gliocelli is lovely if you haven't heard it. I do recommend it.
Lizzie Bordina.
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, gave her father 41.
Disturbing, yet
Disturbing's what I like.
entertaining indeed.
Exactly.
Una Reine de Seguanes.
The Queen of the Lizards. A very elaborate opera.
Giulietta di Lavenza.
Lavenza was the last name of Frankenstein's fiancée.
And was talked about everywhere.
Instead of writing labels, Jasper, who worked at the press, read and reread clippings of Caviglia, hidden in his desk.
He's a tad obsessed, isn't he?
Well, I'm not sure if it's dedication or desperation, but either way, I'm sure it's not good for his job at the press.
Obsession is a good reason to murder someone, though. Should keep following that one.
This way, everybody. We will be seeing more of Jasper throughout the night, or at least hearing more of him. Look to this way. Yeah. Yes, if you would like to take it from your press's point of view, she has a deadline. This way, everybody. Down this hallway, please.
Does anyone have any murders they wish to inform me of? We mentioned in my book. And acknowledge.
Good brass, I do believe that if any of our lovely, innocent audience members had committed a murder, they would not be so.
Well, how would you know? You've never asked them.
Gather around this elevator here, everybody. We have a scene that I'm sure you would like to see. Pull all the way this way, please. Caviglia's manager, Ambrosio Rigagli, fell down the elevator shaft at a costumer's.
But Heracletios Vithilogos took his place. The Greeks and their names, so strong.
I invite you to look in, perhaps. If you have, did everyone see? Well,
I did. I've never used an elevator as a murder weapon before.
it's rather gruesome.
Which is exactly why I like it.
Well, we'll continue now. Up these stairs, if you will. All the way up. Jasper Engel went without lunch 3 days running to buy Caviglia's recording of Vivi con una mire from Il Fiore sotto il piede. He, Jasper, Caviglia's biggest fan, I may remind you, stood all night in a freezing rain to buy third gallery tickets for Die Chinesische Brille. Up these stairs, please. As Tian Fu in Deaconess Brilla, Caviglia had her greatest triumph to date, while Jasper got pneumonia and was dismissed from his job. All the way up this way, Caviglia appeared in a series of advertisements for Gretchen's cucumber soap. We'll pull this way so everyone can see our lovely Caviglia in these posters. Follow me this way, please. In this door, if you will. Gather in this space. Make sure not to intrude on the privacies of the dressing room behind us. Is everybody in? Come quickly. Make room for everybody. The famous Spoffish emeralds were given to Caviglia by the Duke of Wap. Without his clippings of Caviglia, Jasper now wrote long letters, which went unanswered. Agnes Alice Popover
Hortensia's newest rival.
was discovered strangled with a scarf she wore in Theodora. She's quite dead, Mr. Earbrass.
Yes,
I'm sure you don't need
I
to.
need to inspect it for my research.
Ah, yes, research, of course. Jasper's gramophone was broken as he was being evicted from his rooms. Out this way, please. Gather around this painting so that everybody can see, please. Is everybody out? Caviglia was painted by Sir Gustapov as May in The Dubious Errand. Excuse me. Jasper wandered the streets, his warping records clutched to his chest. He was committed to an insane asylum where no gramophone was available to the inmates. Caviglia sailed the Adriatic with Basil Zarabigian, the financier, on his yacht, the Maud. Follow me this way. Jasper's records were broken as he was escaping the asylum to which he was committed. He, Hortensia's biggest fan, no doubt, stood all night in a blizzard to buy third gallery tickets for the premiere of The Thriller Night. And now for something completely different. If you will gather around here, quickly. There's no need to be afraid.
The governess up in the attic attempts to make a cup of tea. Her mind grows daily more erratic from cold, hunger, and ennui. The governess up in the attic attempts to make a cup of tea. Her mind
This way,
grows
please.
daily more erratic from
Quickly.
cold, hunger, and ennui.
It's really a shame. The governess had such potential.
Cup of tea.
She came from a very wealthy family, I might add.
Cold and hunger. and
Well,
ennui.
they were wealthy until they were all eventually subject to a series of gruesome murders, which may sound familiar. Gather around so that everybody can see.
A dreary young bank clerk named Finis wished to foster an aura of menace, to make people afraid. He wore clothes of gray suede and white footgear, intended for tennis.
Now, tennis may not seem so terrifying to you if you will follow me this way. Quickly, the night is still long. As I was saying, tennis may not seem terrifying to you, but it was at this time that many famous tennis players went missing for reasons I'm sure that you can infer. This way, everybody. Gather around our friend here. Make room for everybody to see, please.
The sight of his guest filled Lord Cray at breakfast with horrid dismay. So he launched off the spoons, the pits from his prunes, at their heads as they neared the buffet.
Sir, would you mind telling me about how you... What? Sir, excuse me. This way, quickly. Sir, could you please refrain? This way. Gather around, if you will. Everybody this way so we can all see.
A gift was delivered to Laura for a cousin who lived in Gomorrah. Wrapped in tissue and crepe, it was peeled like a grape and emitted a pale greenish aura. I didn't ask for a glowing knife. I asked for a throwing knife.
Peculiar that you'd ask for a throwing knife, and furthermore that it was glowing. At the Villa Nemesia, the sleepers are disturbed by a phantom in weepers. It bangs all night long a dirge on a gong, as it staggers about in the creepers.
Ashes, ashes, we all drop dead.
I know for sure that I could not sleep to that. An apparition of her lover, she recognizes with dismay. And later on, she will discover that he himself had died that day. If you follow me this way and gather around this door. Good evening, miss.
From number 9 Penwiper Mews, there is really abominable news. They've discovered a head in the box for the bread. Nobody seems to know whose.
Well, I invite you to perhaps see if it is someone you know. Hopefully it is not, but...
Yes.
And once everybody has gotten a good look, oh my, I will invite you to follow me further this way. We will continue down this hallway. Is that everybody? It appears so. A guest in a household quite charmless was informed that eccentric was harmless. If you're caught unawares at the top of the stairs, just remember, he's eyeless and armless. So as not to disturb our friend, we will continue down these stairs. Although we are ending the latter half of our journey, we do still have a few stories to unfold. We will all pull this way and gather around these palms. There was a young woman named Els, who was subject to curious spells. When got up very oddly, she'd cry out things ungodly by the palms in expensive hotels.
People die so quickly in this world. That's why I always use it all night.
Ungodly indeed, I must say. Follow me this way, please. We have a new sort of format for the rest of our journey. And something that my guide friends and I like to call the Gatsby Chrome Tinies. Up this way, up these stairs, please. Oh. A is for Amy, who fell down the stairs. Gather up the stairs, if you will. Pay no mind to other voices that you may hear. Is that everybody? Good. B is for Basil, assaulted by bears. C is for Claire, who wasted away. D is for Desmond, thrown out of a sleigh. E is for Ernest, who choked on a peach. I would help, but it's part of the job, you know? Come this way, please. Mind your step. F is for Fanny, sucked dry by a leech. Can everybody see? G is for George, smothered under a rug. Hello, sir.
How are you doing? H is for Hector.
I'm sorry you had to see that. I is for Ida, who drowned in a lake. Let us continue this way, if you will. J is for James, who took lie by mistake.
K is for Kate, who was struck with an axe. Don't touch. It's my accessory. You like it?
She seems rather content with the fact that there is an object lodged in her head. L is for Leo, who swallowed some tacks. It's a gruesome way to die, not that the others weren't, of course.
Unless if that was candy.
He was very wrong. Come this way, if you will all pull around so that everybody can see. M is for Maud, who was swept out to sea. N is for Neville, who died of ennui. O is for Olive, run through with an awl. P is for Prue, trampled flat in a brawl. This way. Q is for Quentin, who sank in a mire. R is for Rhoda, consumed by a fire. We will be informing her family. This way, please.
Dearie, why are you complaining? You don't have an axe in your head.
All the way. S is for Susan, who perished of fits. T is for Titus, who blew into bits. U is for Una, who slipped down a drain. V is for Victor, squashed under a train. W is for Winnie, embedded in ice. X is for Xerxes, devoured by mice. Y is for Yorick, whose head was knocked in.
And Z is for Zilla, who drunk, too much jet.
Excuse me.
Nice fashion.
I'd like to let you all in on a secret. Our friend Zilla, who drank too much gin, follow me. She will not survive the night. This way, quickly. All the way in, everybody. You may recognize this place. And unfortunately, it does mean that our journey is coming to an end. Follow me, please. However, just because our journey is ending does not mean the story is over. There is still one more scene that we will witness. Through this door, please. Everybody in. Everybody in. We're going to see one more thing right here. I'd like to talk about a timid young woman named Jane. We found parties a terrible strain. With movements uncertain, she'd hide in a curtain and make sounds like a rabbit in pain. Jane? Jane, you can come out now. Jane, it's okay. You may return to your seats now. I thought perhaps she would be in the mood to speak, but unfortunately, she is not very good with people.
We have a few seats right here if anybody would like to join.
There's plenty of room, I'm sure.
And we have a few seats right here.
That lady gives an air of one who's been married multiple times.
Ooh, Phoenix and Oscar, whatever your name is. You know the head in the bread box?
Yes?
We believe it is one of my ex-husbands, though I'm not sure which one.
I'm so
Well, there were a lot of them, but I'm
Yes.
sure that makes sense.
I thought I disposed of the body, but evidently not.
That's good to clear up. I'm glad it wasn't.
Dispose of the body and no talk to me after
Anyway,
this.
enough about my marriages. We will view the final scene now. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for your patronage tonight. Tonight we will witness a snippet of the most celebrated opera in the history of the theater, brought back to life after many a century. The Thriller Night, starring Hortensia Caviglia, whose voice is simply to die for. Enjoy the show.
It's close to midnight, and something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. Sir, you start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is thriller night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight.
That's enough.
We trust you savored each moment of that taste of the opera. Madame Caviglia will return shortly to greet her die-hard devotees.
I'm overjoyed that you contacted me. That pompous fraud deserves more.
Such a somber story. If Hortensia only knew this was to be her final performance.
Don't go having second thoughts, Jasper. I watched you languish for weeks, just trying to secure her attention, and in return, she famed you for her murders and had you detained in that ghastly asylum. And if I hadn't freed you, she would have been content with you rotting in there too.
I suppose you are right. We'd be doing the world a favor by ridding it of that horrible woman. Although her great avarice is rivaled only by her great beauty, and her great beauty is rivaled only by the enchanting qualities of her voice.
Jasper, I've worked at the press with you for years. I know how hard you've been working. You must trust me when I said that Caviglia is not worth any more of your attention.
But...
Not another word. I'm fond of you, Jasper, but I can manage this affair. I will end Caviglia. It's in everyone's best interest. Leave if you must, but this is my trade, and I won't leave a job unfinished.
You were right. You were absolutely right. Though it pains me she must die. I cannot bear to watch. Perhaps I will go for a stroll, just to keep it brief. And painful!
But Mona, what are you doing here?
I can inquire the very same.
Mona, I have really missed you.
That's rather a shame.
Together, we were unparalleled. Your artistic genius and my expertise spawned true masterpieces. In 1 year, we killed 26 people, and each way was more extravagant than the last. So please return. You know it hasn't been the same since you left. You need me. You remember Amy, Basil?
Of course I recall Amy and Basil. Just a moment, Harold.
Oh, do you need my signature?
Of course! Who wouldn't want a signature from the suddenly beloved opera singer?
Now, let us make this brief. I've admired to tell.
Oh, this will be brief.
Ah! Ah! What is the meaning of this? Get her!
Oh, don't expect much from him. He's never been one to follow through.
I can't believe you think... Oh, Mona, it's not that simple.
I'm sorry, Mona. I had to see her one more time.
As I was about to say, I've been busy, Mona.
Let him go, Harold. He has no part in this.
Oh, he has everything to do with this. You see, I was hired by a certain songbird to take care of this obnoxious admirer of hers.
Harold, wait.
Oh, so you discarded me to be with some nobody!
I am not a nobody. I most certainly am somebody.
No, Jasper, you are simply expendable. Harold, can you please just resume your business? Yes, sir, let's resume our business.
Miss Caviglia, are you positive that you want this? First, you scorn every letter, every gesture of my feelings for you. I fall into destitution and lose my job, my house, my life, and then you have me committed to an asylum for your crimes, and now you attempt to have me murdered? Why, Hortensia, I never expected that you would care for me so deeply.
Well, yes, but...
This is the man you wanted, Mona? What we had was special.
What we had was merely one-sided. It was always about Harold. Every moment revolved around Harold. I even began to think you'd change.
How dare you!
Oh, how dare I? You're preposterous.
Well, at least you were not haunted 3/4 of your waking and sleeping hours.
I did not haunt you. It was merely a casual pursuit. It was much more than 3/4, excuse you.
Your foolish advances and your abhorrent letters were sufficiently disturbing. But then you had to go on contract by assassination, right? As the margin of local success? You are ludicrous! Although, now that I can examine you from here, you don't seem too terrible.
You really
Excuse me.
think so?
No.
Not that it matters. Who will you not step on to further your own agenda, you horrible woman? But that aside, do you really like the look of me?
Oh, look at the disaster you've created, Mona.
What I've created, I worked endlessly on this scheme, and then you just had to foil it, per usual.
Oh, per usual. Like the time we went to the beach to drown those children. But we had to leave mid-murder because someone's fair complexion couldn't handle the sun.
Oh, couldn't handle? What about the time you couldn't handle getting blood on your coat?
That was my favorite coat! My great aunt gave it to me. Like you would care. You have no style, no aesthetic.
Well, I loathe the Ipsiad.
Then why did you say you liked it?
Because I thought it made me seem sophisticated, unlike you.
Huh. If you want an unsophisticated heathen, look no further than this wench, who framed me for her crimes instead of owning up to her own fault.
reason I framed you is that you kept involving yourself in my business, you lunatic! And yes, you are quite handsome in person.
Jasper!
Actually, I've never known another person to care for me as much as you.
At least she recognizes that.
Oh, you never appreciated me like Jasper did.
I'm sorry, Mona. But my heart beats solely for my Hortensia. Ha!
Oh, Jasper, we only met under different circumstances, and perhaps...
Elliot, there you are. I found the perfect ending to Cinderblock Goes to a Brawl.
Whoa.
What? The lights. What happened?
Hortensia.
Jasper!
Ah!
What the?
Phoenix!
Oh, this is even more delicious. I simply must get to my typewriter.
Should have kept your eyes open, folks.
Wait.
Phoenix?
Did he just... Edna?
He killed them. Elliot killed them all.
Wait a minute, what? You...
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures
Oscar!
blood.
Doors everybody, stay in your seats. I'm sure it's entirely normal.
And going down, must stand and face the hounds of hell, and rot inside the corpse's shell. The foulest stench is in the air. The funk of 40,000 years, as grisly ghouls for death creatures mock close and though you fight to survive, your body begins to shimmer. For no mere mortal can resist the evils of the thriller. Can you dig it?
What, Phoenix? Please! Please listen to my voice! I'm trying! You have to resist! You have to fight it! I can't, think about your wife and child who die all the time! Fight for them, please! Oh no! Edna! If you die now, you'll have to see your husbands again!
I already killed them!
Oh no! Not the shimmying, Phoenix! It's so synchronized! Oh no! I can't handle it! I'm scared! Oh my god, I'm scared! Please! Just resist the groove! Fight the groove, Phoenix! Please! No! Edna! You can't just let this happen! What can I
Letting
do?
it happen, alright!
It's not so sick anymore, is it? Oh no! Oh no! Shimmy again! Not the pop culture references! Anything but the pop culture references! Please! Is it over? Oh, is it? Oscar! It's over! The play is over!
Now for the rest of the cast.
Christian. Christian.
What?
Smile.
Hannah, the tool. Smile.
Hardly, maybe